Or perhaps this morning I should say, good morning, fellow conservatives.
Yeah! Yeah!
I give you two people that have given us a lot of hope and a lot of courage in this area, Joe Thomas and Rob Schilling.
Hey, I was in Tonsler Park and I found this laptop. Is it anybody's?
I didn't see it.
Hey, we're going to need some help. I brought some votes. Who can help us with the recount? We were honored when Christian asked us to come here in the spirit of radio bipartisanship. There's a four-letter word. I can't speak for Rob, but I know that when we were looking out at the crowd gathering today, I felt inspired. It's been a very difficult couple of days, a lot of emails, a lot of very down, depressed people, and I was concerned that that was going to run over into the attendance today. And this, in and of itself, is inspiring to see all the turnout that's come today, and I think we're only short 2 tables from the turnout for Virgil, so thank you all for coming. Now, we promised, Christian, we try to lighten up the mood a little bit here. We tried, I called some of my old friends from vaudeville, and they didn't have any more cream pies or any seltzer, but we'll try to do the best we can with some small C comedy. Somebody wrote about small C conservatives, so we're going to do some small C comedy.
Yeah. Okay, you've got something, so go.
All right, first, I think one of the seminal moments of this campaign, and one of the most dispiriting moments in my 21 years in media, was when Esquire magazine, a magazine that I always recall was about style, and men would read Esquire to find out the right way to dress and the right way to act, and they publish a column called Who to Vote For in Virginia. I've heard a lot of people do endorsements. I don't think I've ever heard it quite put that way. But in that column, after I got past the shock of reading it, they said, Tom Perriello is who to vote for. Because Virgil Goode is the hick who. So now we've gone from just beyond the pomposity of telling you who to vote for, but we've devolved into name calling. And I said, you know, that's a fairly difficult name to put your arm around, and we've spent some time on the air coming up with other names that members of certain groups like Italian-American Sons of Local Doctors wouldn't like to hear used in attachment to their name. But with apologies to Jeff Foxworthy, I put together a few tributes to Virgil Goode here, if you will indulge me a moment. If you were ever editor of the UVA Law Review, you might be a hick like Virgil. If you ever wanted to lower taxes and create jobs, you might be a hick like Virgil. If you ever had the courage to vote to impeach the president of the party you are currently member of, you might be a hick like Virgil. If you ever had the courage to vote against the next party you joined and their president's plan to print $1 trillion, you might be a hick like Virgil. If you ever had the courage to vote against your party's stand on illegal immigration, you might be a hick like Virgil. And I'm a hick like Virgil. On a serious note, Christian did say if we could talk a little bit about our views from inside the not-so-mainstream media. What happened? And I've been watching these for 21 years, and I'm going to actually take this beyond my broadcasting career. I'm going to take this back to my restaurant managing career. Yes, it was a chain restaurant. Yes, it wasn't McDonald's. But that chain restaurant, only once in the history of both franchises, made more money than McDonald's. It was because it came across a slogan that touched people and made people understand what it was they did. That slogan was, "Have it your way." The only time in the history of the two fast food chains that Burger King on a restaurant level and as a corporation made more money than McDonald's, because McDonald's had no answer for it. Now we're going to fast forward to the Republican Party of 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many people watched John McCain give any speech? How many people took note of the placard that would always sit in front of him when he spoke? Country first. How many people ever actually heard John McCain say the phrase, country first, in any of his speeches?
There you go.
You heard him use it? I did not. I watched it. I was because the other side had change. And change was the driving focus of everything they talked about. Every speech ran through change. Somewhere, somehow, it came back to its very simple, very straightforward, understandable message. Whether we in this room agree with it or not, we have to understand this going forward, is that we need representatives who number one, want to be in that office for the right reasons. Like Thomas Jefferson, who the last thing in the world Thomas Jefferson ever wanted to do was go back to Washington. But when he saw that we already had an $80 million deficit and we'd only had 2 presidents at that point, he had to go to Washington and did what? Cut taxes and lowered the deficit. Oh, and bought half the country. Sounded like a pretty conservative fellow to me, despite what some of the tour guides at Monticello tell you. So we need people who want to be in these positions and want to be there for the right reason. They don't want the job, they don't covet the position, they want to serve their community. They want to go and they want to speak your voices in these halls. And then we need to find that touchstone message. And every single thing that comes through their mouths has to be held up to that touchstone. When they wrote for Seinfeld, do you think that ever Kramer was going to be the mousy, unsure of himself one? No, that wasn't Kramer's character. That was George's character. So if any jokes came for somebody to be unsure of themselves, those jokes went to George. That's how you develop a campaign message. You say, here is our belief, and everything we do has to go through that. And I have no problem with country first. I was really hoping John McCain's speechwriters would bring everything through country first, the way Barack Obama's brought everything through change.
The Albemarle County Republicans meet for breakfast the second Saturday of every month at the Golden Corral Steakhouse on Route 29 North in Charlottesville, Virginia. Visit us at www.albemarlegop.org. Give us a call at 434-973-5499 or contact us at info@albemarlegop.org.